You're listening to Sarah Hagan Backstage, with interviews and insights from years inside the music industry. Join Sarah as she talks with masters of their crafts, finding out what makes them tick, both inside and outside of the music business.
Welcome to Sarah Hagan Backstage. My guest today, Henry Cole, has an incredibly unique style of playing, influenced by his childhood in Puerto Rico and his education at Berklee College of Music and Manhattan School of Music. We are going to talk about that style, his influences, his albums and touring schedule, and his upcoming clinic at PASIC in November. So come along with me as I catch up with Henry Cole. Henry, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Sarah. It's an honor to be here sharing with you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's great to see your face. It has been so long.
It's been some time. Yes.
So where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Puerto Rico, in the Caribbean. I've been here since 2019, early 2019, late 18. So it's been, post New York fire. Remember, then COVID. So that's about it. It's about 3 or 4 years now. Yeah. So
Amazing.
I'm here in an island. Yeah. There's a lot of sun and heat outside.
Yeah, well, that's nice. It seems like it's sunny and hot in most areas lately, so
that's true. That's true.
It's a common theme. But so
where are you? Where are you now?
I am just south of Boston. I am. Yeah.
Okay.
This is my home office here, which I've been in for the past 2 years, a little 2.5 years actually. So
yes.
But yes. I know. And
nice.
the wall treatments were done by Audimute. I just have to give a shout out because Audimute has been amazing.
They always do a great job. I saw what they did for Aaron, right? They did something for Aaron Spear.
Yeah, Spears his studio is incredible. And Dax Nielsen and countless other drummers have Audimute treatments in their studios now. So great. Mitch is the best. Anyone who wants to check out their stuff, Audimute.
Yeah,
but yeah, so this is my home office, just south of Boston. Okay. But you just touched on the fire that happened, and so you were in New York City, and your apartment.
Yes, we were sleeping. Me and my girlfriend Natalia, we were sleeping about 4 a.m. Boom, fire, smoke. She woke up. If she doesn't wake up, who knows? But it was very traumatic. In 2 hours, we were in the street, eating food in this Dominican place at 5 a.m. It was about 5 a.m. after the fire department left and everything. It was about 5 a.m. So it was a interesting start right there, 5 a.m. And from there, we spent some time in the Bronx. But then, it was hard to find a place like the one I had. I've been here for some time, so I have my studio there. So we relocated in Puerto Rico, and the first year was going well. Then COVID, and then we've been here. Now now looking forward. Maybe I go back to the city. Maybe I go back to New York. Who knows? It's just everything is changing so fast, right?
There's a lot of changes. I understand that sentiment. You just never know lately what's happening.
Yeah, but there's a feeling that I have that I should go back and relocate and just get back to that groove there. But it's been nice here. It's been nice. A lot of creative work has been done, and a lot of also spiritual work has been done since I've been here in Puerto Rico. So I feel good.
Yes. I'm so happy to hear that you feel good and that it's been a good experience. And when I think of you, I think of Puerto Rico and I think of New York because those are the two places that I associate with you.
Yes.
But so let's talk a little bit about your origins because you did grow up in Puerto Rico, and I feel like your style is just so incredibly unique. Your style of playing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
thank you.
You have this great quote on your website, and I just want to read it because I feel like it really encompasses everything. And so on your site, it says, Henry Cole is a shape-shifting drummer, whose
Yep.
versatile, multicultural style positions him at the forefront of a growing wave of
Mhm.
jazz innovation and cross-cultural 21st century rhythms. So that's
Wow.
just
Yeah.
like perfect because it does encompass what you do.
Mhm.
You have this history of,
Yes.
multicultural playing styles that you've kind of
Mhm.
like melded into this incredible style of playing jazz music and other styles of music too. But I
Yeah.
love how you
Mhm.
bring that to jazz.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. And anyone who
Thank
has
you.
seen you play with any of the groups that you've played with, and on
Mhm.
your own music as well, just can
Yeah.
see this the the different elements that you bring into it and the different
Yes.
instruments that you bring into it. So
Mhm.
tell us a
Mhm.
little bit about that.
So, and thank you for all of that, Sarah. Coming from you means a lot to me. Everything coming from you means a lot to me. So, thank
Oh,
you. Um,
absolutely.
when I was, I grew up in the west side of the island of Puerto Rico. I come from a musical family. Nothing very, not a lot of popular music, but church. Like my grandmother was an organist and everything. So I was exposed to playing, talent shows, all that stuff that we do when we're kids. At 4, I started playing piano. So I was a pianist at the school. So but then I jumped into this LP from Rocky 2 album, the soundtrack, and it was
Yes.
Eye of the Tiger. So Eye of the Tiger, when I listened to that, I was like, there's something in here that I like about the drums. And then I took that record to my neighbor. She was an older, maybe she was a teenager back then. I was a kid. I was 9. And then she said, "Oh, so you like that, huh? Okay, let me show you this album." So then she played Striper, to hell
Wow.
with the devil. And when I listened to that, immediately I said, okay, this is it. I'm going to play the drums. So I started playing with pencils and pens and whatever I could find. And that day I say, okay, I'm going to take drum lessons. I'm going to sign up for the music school in Mayagüez in Puerto Rico. I was 9. I took the test just to find that my teacher, my drum teacher, wasn't a drum set teacher. He was a trumpet player. So my lesson was in a practice pad with the Ruben book.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine a kid coming from this imagination of playing like rock and roll, heavy metal, and then going to a practice pad uh, with my teacher. But right now, it couldn't have been better because that teacher showed me how to be more of a musician than just the drums. Because he played trumpet, he was a orchestrator, arranger, and stuff like that. So he showed me how to read music, how to sight read music charts, and so as just to be prepared to work. You know, and then
Right.
from Striper, the whole journey. I don't know, a lot of heavy metal bands. I remember seeing Nirvana the first time that showed it on MTV, and I said, "There's something different about that drum pattern. There's something going on." And then
Yes.
from there, I saw Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and Soundgarden. Remember that transition? It was like from a heavy metal mind to that. It was like,
Grunge.
wow, this is different.
Yes.
And then I got into all the people that Dream Theater, Mike Portnoy, and for a long time, and then
Mm-hmm.
Neil Peart, and then from Neil Peart, eventually I jumped into Latin jazz, and from Latin jazz, I think I went backwards to then the changuito, and my musical heroes since then and up to this point has always been Giovanni Hidalgo and Anthony Carrillo, because Giovanni represented the biggest percussionist of Puerto Rico that you can have. So when I
Yes.
saw him, I was like, okay, so I see the rudiments, I see the traditions, I want to be that guy. And I
Oh, I
still
love
trying to
that.
be Giovanni. He's my hero. And of course, Changuito played a major role. With Changuito was a teacher of Giovanni at some point in Cuba,
Mm-hmm.
but Giovanni has always been my main hero because of how he can create that effects in the audience where he plays solos, and now that I understand is that the way that he blends tradition with the rudiments was so perfect, you know,
Yes.
because one day I was starting to I was playing, I was accompanying him, and I started playing the cowbell and he started playing the solo, no rudiments, just the language. And then by the time he played the first flam or something, the crowd was already crazy. I said, wow, there's a message here, so that's
Mhm.
it. From
I
there,
like that. I love that
yeah,
story. I love that.
yeah,
And Giovanni, he absolutely, I feel like he's such a big influence for so many drummers and, drum
yeah,
set players and
yes.
percussionists alike.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I had no idea that you kind of started from this like heavy
Oh yeah,
metal,
oh yeah,
right?
big time,
No
big
clue.
time, big time.
That's
I never
incredible.
had a music school. No, my thing was more like Crew, Megadeth, Poison, Queensryche, Warrant, all of that. All of that. And I remember seeing Nirvana, and I say, "There's something going on here. This is different." But I liked it because it was. I saw that drummers were more like better drum. I saw like there was something happening on the drum set. All these
Yes.
great drummers that came along. But yeah, I was there. MTV Headbangers Ball guy, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I had absolutely no idea. This is blowing my mind right now. So I love
Yeah, for
that.
sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's really similar to how I grew up as well. MTV, heavy metal, hair
I
bands,
remember
into the
her
grunge
bands.
thing, and
Yeah.
then kind of made a kind of inroads into jazz after that. So that's so amazing. And also like I love that you pointed out how like Nirvana, the
Mhm.
hearing those drums, it was just so
Yes.
different, right? It was
It
like,
just changed it. It changed the whole thing. It changed the
yeah.
whole thing. And then from there, Pearl Jam changed the whole thing, and Soundgarden changed the whole thing. The whole thing was different. I was like, whoa, Alice in Chains, and no, the whole thing was like, whoa, there's something about these drummers that is this different and heavier.
Yes,
Very
absolutely.
powerful.
And now when you hear something that's unique and new, I still have that
Yes,
feeling of like being
yes,
a kid again and
yes,
experiencing that excitement of like, oh my gosh, I really haven't heard this
yeah,
before. Like this is
hmm,
super cool. And when you incorporate different instruments into your
yeah.
jazz playing, that I
Hmm.
get that feeling when I see you do something and I'm
Thank
just like,
you,
"Oh, I haven't seen that before." Like that's so exciting to
thank you,
me. And yeah,
thank you, thank you.
absolutely. And I'm just wondering like where do you find the creative inspiration for
Yes,
all of the
yes.
things that you do?
Yeah, in percussionists like Giovanni and timbaleros Manny Oquendo and a lot of we can say is ethnic percussionists,
Mhm.
folklore musicians, that because when you see ethnic music, uh, it's not necessarily about the academia, the rudiments, or what you want to play. It has a social content, and also it's a history. It's like hearing flamenco and hearing the ethnic music around the world in general.
Mhm.
There's always that element of rawness and pureness, and also the communication is huge.
Mhm.
Because it takes me back to the pam para pam 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 pam. It was about communicating and
Yes.
call and response, and I think that sometimes it gets lost, and I speak for myself, it can get lost in the whole academia drum set, and genres, which are styles, which are different points of view of cultures and things that are happening now or before. That always that can get lost a bit, especially on the drum set. Uh, at least that happened to me, and then I remember one day, I was very young, and I was trading four with this percussion. He was playing djembe, and I was
Mhm.
playing drums, and we were playing four and eight. So, and I was playing my chops with the cymbals, and blah 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 blah. And he was doing blah 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 blah, and I was like blah, 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 blah. And then after a minute, I didn't know what else to say. And he has so much language still ahead to communicate, and his phrases were cutting through more than mine. And I was like, you know what? There's something not right about my playing right now. So I committed myself to be one of them. To be. Let me tell you, see, this other story that changed my mind. And I was very young. We have the Heineken Jazz Festival
Mhm.
here. that it was the biggest jazz event in Puerto Rico, and it's mostly Latin jazz. It represents that Latin jazz. Dave Valentin and Palmieri, all this, David, everyone on the Latin jazz was huge. And then I remember seeing Giovanni solo with the montuno, bam, 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 blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
solo congas. And then you see, Richie Flores, or you see timbales, blah, blah. And then when it was time for the drums, the whole band stopped, and then you hear like, and then solo stops, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, bam, 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 bam. I say, you know what? Why you want to stop for the drummer? I don't like that. I don't like the band to stop for me. I want to play in the same way they were playing. Why they want to stop?
Mhm.
So I understood that it was more of a language thing, and the way they were playing. So that's what I'm trying to do, to express. I don't want the band to stop for me. I want to play, the same thing that Giovanni plays. I want to play like him and communicate.
Mhm. That is so interesting. I can understand that, like thinking about how you play and your style and everything. It's very cohesive with the band and with percussion and
Yeah,
also it's more of a conversation, right?
a
Instead of
conversation.
yeah,
Yes,
instead of being like
conversation.
a separate instrument, it's more of a conversation with the band. And
Yes, totally.
that is super important. Um
So that's
and
where
then
it's come from. That's where it come from. Yeah.
absolutely. That's so interesting to me. That's a really great story. Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
and yeah, and just like the different instruments that you use on your kit, the different percussion instruments that you
Mhm.
use, I think that gives you a whole other aspect to what you're doing too, and it allows you other voices in your
Yes,
play.
a little bit, but also I started seeing how I could be myself jumping on any drum set, or just I
Hmm.
didn't want, for a long time, I didn't want to bring the cowbell to the jazz gigs. I
Hmm.
say, because I was thinking, well, if you want a cowbell, then it might be for dance party or something. Because I was playing salsa here in Puerto Rico for a long time,
Hmm.
and that cowbell is your right symbol. You play that until you die. You play that,
Yes.
because without that cowbell, people won't dance. So I was playing a lot of salsa every week. So that cowbell, man, is the right symbol. But
Hmm.
then I didn't want to be related just to the cowbell, or just bring the cowbell just to the. So I wanted to find ways to express that element of the pose of the cowbell in the symbol. It's more the attitude of playing the cowbell than just the actual sound. So
Right.
for a long time, I
Exactly.
didn't want to bring cowbell to the geese. I said, well, I don't have one. I always used to say, I
Yeah.
know I don't have. I don't have one.
I forgot it, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh man, I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. So
Too
I would
funny.
just put myself, try to bring out that sound, but
Sure, that makes sense too. Um,
yeah.
one of the things you mentioned too was the earliest thing was the Rocky soundtrack, right? So,
Yeah.
and I we've talked a little bit before about like martial arts
Yes.
and
Hmm.
all that kind of like place in your life, and I
Yeah.
think about boxing. I was a boxer years back and a coach,
Okay.
and I think of boxing or fighting styles as very rhythmic, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
very like there's like there is a music to it. Like there's a it's just very similar to me. I don't know what it is, but the
It's very
right
similar.
the
It's
rhythm
very
and the
similar. Yeah.
patterns and all of
Yeah.
that, the combinations,
Yep.
um, and the coordination that it takes.
It's
And
so
so
similar.
yeah, I
So
just
similar.
wanted to hear a little bit about how that influences your music too.
Yeah, when a friend of mine a long time ago, I think it might have been Tony Scapa, which him also.
Mhm.
I think it was him or some other friend introduced me to Bruce Lee by a book, some book, Bruce Lee. And
Mhm.
then of course in my house I used to watch Bruce Lee when I was a kid. It was in my house. But then when I saw that book, it was the art of expressing the human body, right? When I
Mhm.
saw that book and I started reading by myself in the Barnes and Nobles, I think it was, uh, I saw exactly how I was able to translate everything that he was explaining into being a musician, into being a drummer. like everything, all the routines. When he wrote punches, I wrote strokes. When he saw heavy bag and soft bag, I saw the heavy pad, the soft bag, the pillow, or the bounce back. I saw everything so perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
The stretching the body, and then since then I became a huge Bruce Lee, not a fan. I think I saw him as more of as a mentor,
Mm-hmm.
So I studied a lot of his work. I don't want to say all of his work, but a lot. And I read a lot of the books, and I applied that to my routine as a drummer and as a musician, and
Mm-hmm.
also including all the reading, the spiritual readings, and then I've never been a boxing fan, but I started also studying boxers and seeing how rhythm and comping, and I saw that comping and combinations when you play is totally like what you're saying, and now a few years back, I've been studying the life of Miyamoto Musashi, who was considered the best swordsman of Japan culture. So I've been studying all his teachings, and all of them are very similar,
Mm-hmm.
very, very. Is bigger than what you do. It's not about the sword; it's about something else. So that inspires me for the music and also for the drums. But they're very disciplined also, which I am too, and I always want to be even more disciplined. So it's very.
Yeah, yeah. And
So I use all of
yeah,
that.
and that's so great. And I know that about you too. You're very serious about health and wellness
Yes,
and all of that too,
right.
which I think is really
Hmm.
important when you're so physical with your instrument.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
just
very
staying
important.
healthy, staying the stretching and all of that too.
Yes.
We've talked a bit
It's
about
very
that.
important and very difficult too. But there's I follow always Virgil Donati, which I consider one of my heroes, and he's so great at physical and discipline and all that stuff. And also, I had a
Hmm.
mentor for many years. His name is Efrain Toro. He's a great percussionist. And a
Yes.
great mentor. He was like a seafood to me, a master. And then he taught me how a lot about cooking, and food and how you mixes different elements of the food and all stuff like that.
I
Yeah,
love that.
important,
It's
important.
I mean, all of these things are related, right? And I always say we can find
Yeah.
inspiration and things that
Oh yeah.
like
Big time.
inspiration for music in outside things, and that's the perfect
Big
example.
time.
Cooking,
Big, big time.
combinations
Big
of
time.
things,
Yes.
movement, dance, all of those
Yeah.
things.
Also, one of the realizations also that I have besides the djembe player and the Latin jazz scenario, it was like seeing these ladies dance flamenco and dance and Greek dance and Bulgarian dances that they dance in 9 and 7, 11, like so natural, and the rhythm they have on their feet, the language of the rhythm they have is so rich. It's not about licks, it's not about the patterns, it's about a language that they can speak, they can talk. And I say, wow, if I'm as a drummer, I don't have that type of language, I'm not supposed to be a drummer. There's something wrong. So with me, so I started to study, and I started to trying to be like them. Because on the drums, I saw that you can play stuff on the drums that if they take the drums away, you cannot play anywhere else, right?
Hmm.
So, my philosophy was to be able to play on the table the same content, or with words that I was playing on
Hmm.
the drums. So that means that you're playing behind a soloist. You can, if you're a good accompanist, you can do it on the drum set or on the table, and it's gonna sound good. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good way to think about it too.
Yeah, it's a
And
good
and
test to
all of
do.
right, and
Test
all
to
and
do.
all of us drummers are familiar with playing on tables for
Mhm,
sure. So
mhm.
to
Yes,
the aggravation of many people around us, I'm sure. Uh,
that is true.
but I do want to talk a little bit too about your albums because I
Yes.
remember your first album that came out that was yours,
Mhm.
um, Roots Before Branches, and I
Yes.
just was like, I loved the album, but I was so happy with the attention that it got from, from everyone. I mean, the reviews were just so
Yeah.
incredible. And you
Hmm.
had like a big feature. I remember hearing you on NPR, and I was like,
Hmm.
I think I called you and I was like, I just listened to you. I was so
That is true.
excited.
That's true. Wow. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. And
Thank you.
yeah, for sure. And the music that you've made since then, and you've won Grammy awards, and it's just like incredible to have followed you through these years. And
Thank you.
I'm so excited for everything that you have going on. Can you give us an idea of what you're working on right now? What you have
Well,
kind of like
I
coming up?
released during COVID. I recorded another album, and it features the Metropole Orchestra, and it's called Buscando la Vida. Yeah, believe it or not, here it's a vinyl right here.
Yay. Oh,
And
that's great.
then I won this grant from Chamber Music of America. It's a New Jazz Works. They give you money to write music and record and compose. So during COVID, I was like, we need to do something, you know. So I started working on that project. I already had some tunes written, and then all for many years I had this thing going on about playing with the classical orchestra, playing music
Mhm.
with a symphony orchestra, and then of course what you get is that it's impossible, that it's expensive, it's not gonna work, blah blah blah, and you have to use virtual instruments or blah, blah. So I tried to get musicians in Puerto Rico. Wasn't working. I tried somewhere else. It wasn't working. So one day, out of frustration, I decided to write to the best orchestras in the world an email. So I wrote to the London Symphony and I wrote to the Metropole Orchestra saying, "My name is Henry Cole. I have some music. I want to know if it's possible that, what are the possibilities to record with the orchestra, blah, blah." The next day, I have both emails. And thank you, Henry Cole. Your project is very interesting, blah, blah, blah. These are the requirements. So, of course, London is a bit more difficult. It's difficult to do. The orchestra doesn't have a studio, but the Metropole has their own studio, and they wrote me saying, "Do you have the score?" And I said, "Yeah, I have the score." And then the reply said, "We would love to do it." So they're
Wow.
featured. They say yes, so they're featured on the album, the first track, and then I released that album this year as a vinyl also. So it's a good accomplishment for us, also for me, because everything was done here and stuff. So that happened during COVID. That happened during COVID, and then right now, uh, being in Puerto Rico, I decided to jump into reggaeton music, which is huge, it's popular, because I saw the rhythmic element of folklore also in there.
Mhm.
So I say, okay, so this is my backbeat, you know, this is my equivalent of the backbeat. So it's my responsibility to learn it and to do a good job and to play it. So then I took it very serious. To You remember what Amir did with J Dilla beats?
Yes,
Now,
absolutely.
he was one of the first who actually could play it on the real drum set, but
Yes.
everyone thought that it was impossible. So now in reggaeton we have more of the same, because reggaeton people are used to the machines. They think the machine is much better,
Mhm.
because it sounds very simple, but it's not really that simple. So
Mhm.
I decided to take it very seriously, to be that guy who can sound better than the machine, like Amir and all that. Now it's a standard to play like that, like Chris Dave. So I'm working on that, touring with artist Nati Natasha, and but at the same time, another album with Miguel Zenon Quartet is coming. We do it the Banger. I'm teaching at the Siena Jazz Camp in July, and I'm doing PASIC, which is
Yes.
killing me. Which I'm so. I mean, I'm still on the air with that, because I'm so honor. I don't know how to express. You know, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. I know. I'm so excited. So I'm good. We're going to talk about PASIC, and I want to like give everyone that information, but I just want to touch
Okay.
on one thing
Yeah.
that you just said about Questlove, about Amir
Yeah.
doing
Mhm.
the J Dilla beats, because it's so interesting to me. I'm a little bit obsessed with electronic music being transferred to acoustic instruments. I love
Ooh.
that so much.
Okay.
I'm an
Mhm.
acoustic player. I
Wow.
respect electronics so much, but at my heart, I love the thought of recreating electronic music with acoustic instruments. It's like an obsession of mine. So
Me
when
too.
we think, no, I love that. That's so
Me
great.
too.
And I think about like Jay Dilla, and I think about the drummers who play that
Mhm.
music and who have recreated it, and how much I love the push and pull of the actual acoustic instrument in that music instead of
Yes.
it being perfect electronics. It's
Yeah.
like, I think about Amir, and I think about, Nate Smith, and I think about all those guys, and Kareem, and the
Yeah. Wow.
laying back of the music, and
Yes.
it makes me so
Yeah.
happy. So I am so excited about that being
Yeah.
translated into the reggaeton music that you're playing.
Yes.
Like, that's
Yes.
incredibly exciting.
Yeah, because it's been like that for many years. It's still now we are in a phase that is hybrid. So you
Mm,
play, but there's a track because the producers still they don't. I mean, they don't believe that it's possible to sound better
yeah.
than without the track. So it's been a transition. It's been a journey. So before it turns into rock, I think it's going somewhere in there, more
Yeah.
rockish. I just want to work really hard on that one and just establish something, and just even for
Yeah.
myself, just to make it It's a goal that I have. It's a goal that I have.
That's so great. I love that goal, Henry. I
It's
can't
a goal.
wait. I can't wait to
It's
hear
a
some of
goal.
that stuff. That's
Yeah,
so
it's a goal that
that's so
I
great.
have.
And then yeah, let's talk about PASIC a little bit, because I am super excited that you are doing PASIC this year. I am
Wow,
so
it's a dream.
you know how excited I am about that. When you got
Yeah,
the
it's
news,
a dream.
yeah,
It's a dream.
it's gonna be so great. So anyone who's listening, PASIC is the Percussive Art Society International Convention that takes place every November in Indianapolis. And it's a trade show for the percussion world. So all of the percussion companies, the cymbal companies, the drum companies, all the accessories companies, everyone exhibits at this trade show in Indianapolis at the convention center. And the coolest part about it is that there's this clinic element. So there are clinics happening all day long for this time frame. This year, the convention is November 9th through the 12th. And
Mhm.
so, Henry, you'll be performing a clinic there. And let us know. Like, I know you have a title and everything already, but tell us about it.
um when you it's not always it's not this they say it's not the same to call it than when it's here, when it knock your door. It's not the same feeling. So it's one thing to wish to be there, and it's another thing when they send you a letter that, dude, you're going.
Yeah.
Okay, we count on you. So when you get those news, is that okay, now you have to really examine what you have to offer.
Hmm.
So I've been doing that, and just when you're gonna teach a workshop, it really helps the people, the audience, but it also helps you because it helps you organize your
Hmm.
thoughts much better. uh, and so this when I got the email from PASIC, it just helped me to say, okay, boop, you gotta bring something. You have all these ideas, a lot of different cultures and influences. How you gonna put that into one place? And so I'm working on that. And also I'm worrying about what kind of set should I play, what kind of drum set should I play, the jazz drum set, should I play the more the fusion, like all these minor elements. I'm working on that because I want to show how the wider range of being a you know versatile musician, not just the
Hmm.
jazz 18 bass drum. I want to show some of the reggaeton music. I want to show some of the rocks. I want to show some of my Afrobeat element on that too, and also the work with Miguel Zenon, of course, and the jazz. So I'm working on that also. I'm also It's been very interesting to I started studying past basic clinics by great drummers and great. So I'm also learning a lot from those
Hmm.
archives of basic, and seeing many greats doing basic. It's been wonderful.
Oh, so
And
that's a good
then
idea for sure.
Yeah, it's been wonderful to study all the past clinics, as much as I can,
Has there been
but I'm
some?
thinking also I've been thinking maybe I am the first Puerto Rican drummer, right? In doing it, I think so.
You
I
might
don't
be.
remember.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
have
I
to go
don't
back.
remember. Yeah, I remember percussionists, but not drummers. So
Yeah.
I also have that element of excitement and responsibility also.
Yeah, I know that that is a big responsibility for sure. And I know you're up for it, and it's
Yeah,
going to
that,
be it's
it's
going to
gonna
be
be
great.
fun. Yeah, I'm gonna be.
I can't wait. It's so exciting, and the concerts that are happening this year too at PASIC. Ghost
Mhm.
Note will be performing a concert. Pedrito Martinez will be there
Pedrito's
performing.
Pedrito is
Yeah,
there. Yeah,
I mean
I know that.
it's going to be
It's gonna
so
be a
great.
good hang. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm playing some music, bringing some tracks also to play, and bringing some PDFs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be really ready and happy to just when showtime is showtime. It's fun.
I can't wait. I cannot
Yeah,
wait. And
yeah,
then I get to see you too. I get to actually see
yeah.
you in
I get to
person.
I get to hang. We get to hang finally. Yeah,
Yes, we get to hang.
yeah.
We'll have some good hang time, I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yes,
sure.
for sure.
And you know what? One thing too, I don't want to miss this. You talked about
Yes.
teaching, and so
Mm.
you came from when you studied with John Riley, right? Who is just
Yes, true.
incredible
Incredible. Yes.
legend. Um, but let us know, like, if someone wants to have a lesson with you or to to book some time with you. How does that work with
Yes,
you?
beautiful. I also want to mention, I want to mention Skip Haddon, he was my teacher at Berkeley,
Of
and
course.
he's been a long time friend. Skip and John, just what else is just wonderful couple teachers. But yeah, I've been busy teaching. I have my Patreon page under Henry Cole on drums, and also I have Henry Cole on drums on Instagram. You can book a lesson. You can go to my website, also on education, send an email, henry at vidalocura.com. But Instagram is easier.
Hmm.
Right now, I've been teaching some students because I have some time in Puerto Rico during the summer. And also, the Patreon page is going well because it's also a way for me to organize stuff, then to put into a book, which is one of my goals for this year. Also, just finish that project. So there, yeah, everyone welcome all levels. Rhythm is very important, so it could be about drums, or it could be about rhythm in general, or just improvisation. Everyone welcome. Yeah, I love that.
I love that. That's so great. And touring wise, do you have any
Yes.
plans or
Yes,
touring dates?
this summer I'm gonna tour with reggaeton artist Nadi Natasha during July, and then from there I go to Siena for the Siena jazz workshops, and then in August we do the Village Vanguard with Miguel Zenon. So if you see that, it's very interesting. I like going from reggaeton to teaching to the Village Vanguard. That's a nice combination for me.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, and
know.
it shows your
So,
versatility too. Like
so,
that's pretty
so
incredible.
in a way, that's my perfect scenario to jump from one to the other. 18 bass from okay, 22, okay, 24. In ear monitors, okay, no monitors, good. Teaching, okay, go. Right symbol, no cowbells.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is what I enjoy.
Well,
A lot.
it keeps things interesting, right? Like each day
Yeah,
is totally different. Each gig is totally different, and
totally different.
I like that too.
Yeah,
I like the element of you have different things. Sometimes you don't even know what you're going to encounter during the
of
day.
course,
So
of course.
um,
And then
I love
and
that as
then
well.
sometimes I've been producing for other people, just producing virtual projects. I think I'm really good at putting people together to work together. So I've been doing that a lot, and I enjoy that because I just watch them do the stuff. So
Hmm.
I enjoy that too. You know.
That's so
So
great. And
yep.
so, if someone wants to check out the tour dates, should they follow you on Instagram? Is that the best
Yeah,
place to kind of keep updated?
Instagram is the best place for now because I'm there most of the time. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so
Yeah.
we have your Instagram page to follow, and
Mhm.
also register for PASIC if anyone wants to
Yes,
attend PASIC,
yeah,
because
please do.
that's going
Please
to be
do.
amazing.
It's going to be
Um,
a great hang. It's going to be a great hang for sure.
yes. And I know some of the other performers there, and it's just, yeah, it's going to be great. So,
I saw you at the drum set competition recently. I saw that clip. It's wonderful.
yes,
I saw
yes,
the contest, and it was great. Basic
yeah,
website is incredible. Has a lot of info. So
yeah.
I saw you there with the drummers, and it was great. I was checking them out too. Yeah.
Yes, that was so great. It was the PAS drum set competition, and the kids. I say kids, but they're young adults. Fantastic airs. It was amazing. So yeah, I co-hosted the finals, which was live streamed, which was super fun.
Incredible judges too. Amazing judges. It's like whoa, amazing.
Yes.
So
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being a young player and like playing in front of? So the judges were Matt Greiner, Aaron Spears, and Dave Weckel, and I think
it was insane.
It was great.
And so I have to say that's been very inspiring to get in touch with the PASIC page and all, and everything that you're doing is just wonderful, Sarah. So thank you.
Oh,
You really inspired us all, and I've been watching your podcast and wishing that I was at some point in there. So thank you. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. It makes me super happy. Super happy to catch up with you. You know that I have been, following along with you since the beginning and just, cheering you on along the way, and so happy for all your success.
Since really the beginning, many years.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting me.
Oh my gosh, always. So we'll keep following along with you, and
okay.
I will see you in person in just a few months in November.
Yes, thank you, Sarah.
so much.
Thank you, Sarah. Abrazo. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Really, thank you.
And thank you, Henry. And I will see you soon. You take care in the meantime.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in today. Join us each Tuesday for new episodes of Sarah Hagan Backstage.